Good evening and welcome to the National Rundown. I'm Sade James. Tonight's headlines include the latest information on the Derek Chauvin trial, Adam's suicide, and Biden's gun control law. Welcome to the National Rundown. I'm Sade James reporting to you live with the National Rundown news team. Prosecution expert Dr. Martin Tobin says that drugs are not to blame for George Floyd's death. He testified in former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin's trial and said that the cause of death was partly caused by the pressure of Chauvin's knee on Floyd's neck. He also said that the handcuffs pulling his hands behind his back and his body being pressed against the street played a factor. According to Tobin, all three of these factors led to a lack of oxygen. According to South Carolina police, former NFL player Philip Adams was the lone gunman in a shooting that left 5 people dead yesterday. Dr. Robert Leslie, his wife Barbara, and their 2 grandchildren, ages 9 and 5, were discovered dead inside the couple's home in Rock Hill. Adams also shot 2 air conditioning technicians. One is dead and the other is in critical condition. Adams was later found dead in a nearby home from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Joel Greenberg is likely to strike a plea deal with federal prosecutors. Greenberg, who is an associate of Florida Republican Representative Matt Gaetz, has been under investigation for sex trafficking. If the deal is approved, the Justice Department could provide investigators details to determine whether Gaetz broke sex trafficking or prostitution laws himself. Gaetz has denied all allegations and blames political bias in the justice system and the media. A Louisville art gallery is celebrating Breonna Taylor's life. Gladys Bautista has the story.
Promise, witness, remembrance. Those 3 words are vital to understanding the Speed Art Museum's new exhibition reflecting on Breonna Taylor's life and her legacy. It's a picture we've seen before, but it's now on display for the first time to the public. It's the anchor of an exhibit honoring Breonna Taylor at Louisville Speed Art Museum.
Breonna Taylor doesn't belong to us anymore. Breonna Taylor belongs to the world. But it is very important for the world to know that Breonna Taylor is from Louisville, Kentucky. She was born and raised in Louisville, Kentucky. So it's very important for us to have that because this is our story too.
Allison Glenn is the guest curator of the exhibition. She says the beginning of the exhibition, Promise, is essential to understand Breonna Taylor's story.
The question of promise is, for whom are these rights afforded, and how can we ensure that they're afforded to everyone?
Aiming to have people who see it reflect, the exhibition came together in collaboration with Taylor's family, community leaders, and members.
Breonna's story is about the subsequent protests. It's about all of these things. And so I really attempted to show a selection of that story with the timeline of photographers and images.
Local artists are also featured in the exhibition as witnesses and historians on the events that unfolded after Taylor's death. Tyler Gerf's photo, who documented the protests and later died as a result of gun violence at Jefferson Square, is on display. T.A. Yarrow says it's bittersweet to see her photo on display too.
I get to say that, my pictures were in a museum, but it's also sad because my pictures were in a museum because I witnessed injustice that happened in the aftermath.
Finally, remembrance. This portrait of Taylor is a pillar humanizing one of the faces of the movement against police brutality that shook the nation.
What people think expansively about the role of art, and the role of art and activism, the role of art and social justice, how artists help us understand.
Gladys Bautista, WOKY News.
Coming up, find out more about how President Biden feels on gun violence in the country.
Sorry about that. No, I've been staying at my dad's place because of everything.
Where are we going?
He's good. Yeah, I know, we keep missing each other. I've been working out of my dad's house, doing some reading. I should be working out more. I just feel like I'm drowning.
Navigating these times can be tough, but while you care for your loved one, you also need to care for yourself. Go to aarp.org/caregiving for free mental health and self-help tips.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made this vacation happen.
Double points with every purchase?
Cleverly merging promotions.
I love it.
Cross-referencing travel sites. And booking all your flights with those...
Vouchers. I got us bumped.
They were like, oh. But now they're like... Aloha. You aced this vacation. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
President Joe Biden calls gun violence in America an epidemic. Following pressure from the Democratic Party and activists, Biden announced an executive order for stricter gun laws on Thursday morning. After 2 mass shootings in March, guns have, once again, become a major issue. The president called problem an epidemic and an embarrassment. Some of the new rules include tighter laws on guns that can be assembled at home. These kind of weapons have become popular in recent years and are hard to track. Biden also picked David Chipman to run the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms. A couple in South Korea is caught in a messy situation after they accidentally vandalized a public art piece. The couple noticed a canvas of abstract paint splatters in Seoul shopping center, along with brushes and paint cans in front of it. They thought it was a public art project and began contributing to the piece, only to be arrested later for vandalizing the finished piece by graffiti artist John Won. After the police deemed the crime an accidental, the couple was released. Dr. Anthony Fauci is warning Americans that the number of new COVID-19 cases in the U.S. has plateaued at a disturbingly high level. He said that the country is at risk from a new surge as the race continues to get Americans vaccinated. More than 33% of Americans have received at least one vaccine, which is equivalent to over 112 million people. About 25% of adults in the U.S. are fully vaccinated. Former President Donald Trump is calling for a boycott on the MLB after 2021 All-Star Game moves from Atlanta to Denver. The game is going to be played at Coors Field in Denver, Colorado, and it sparked political controversy and heads turn. Last week, Commissioner Rob Manfred pulled the Midsummer Classic from Atlanta in the midst of Georgia's recently passed voting rights law. Trump wants other fans to join him in boycotting baseball. British soccer clubs say they would boycott all social media sites for a week to protest the abuse at some of their players and abhor racism. Swansea City stated, quote, "We feel it is right to take a stand against behavior that is a blight on our sport and society at large," end quote. The Swansea City Soccer Club declared that the coaching staff and players would not post anything on platforms such as Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube, starting at Thursday at 5 p.m. The campaign, which began with the Welsh club Swansea City, is the most important action in what has been a developing movement within British soccer to put pressure on social media companies to get more serious on racism. Here's Katie with the latest entertainment news.
Thanks, Sade. Taylor Swift is surprising fans yet again. She released Mr. Perfectly Fine, one of the tracks that was anticipated to be released this Friday with the rest of the album, Fearless Taylor's version. Swifties quickly analyzed the song and came to the conclusion that this is about ex-boyfriend Joe Jonas, who was the subject of multiple songs during the Fearless era. Unless Swift has any other surprises in store, the remainder of the album drops tonight at midnight. It's a newly recorded version of her sophomore album. The project features all 20 original songs and 7 new From the Vault tracks. Demi Lovato's latest episode of her docuseries is here. In it, other stars come to talk about their relationship with Lovato, including Christina Aguilera, Will Ferrell, and Elton John. Then, Lovato dives into her relationship with her now ex-fiancé, saying that the world was right to think she jumped into it a little bit too fast. Lovato also opened up, saying she still uses marijuana and alcohol in moderation. She cautioned, saying her approach is not one she recommends to everyone, and explained that recovery is not a one-size-fits-all. Well, it's also a big week for Dolly Parton fans with a new sweet treat and a new Netflix docuseries to indulge in. The Dolly Parton A Music Cares tribute premiered yesterday. The legendary singer was honored as the Music Cares Person of the Year in 2019 and was the first country artist to receive the honor. Performers at the organization's annual fundraising gala and tribute concert included Willie Nelson, Miley Cyrus, Casey Musgraves, and many more. Dolly Parton fans can also try her new ice cream. It's called Strawberry Pretzel Pie, and it's inspired by an iconic Southern treat that includes strawberry jello, whipped cream cheese, Cool Whip, and a pretzel crust. Jenny's Splendid Ice Cream is launching the new flavor, with proceeds going to Dolly's Imagination Library. Sounds pretty good, Dolly. Back to you, Sade.
President Biden has announced his efforts to restrict weapons known as ghost guns, which he argues do nothing to impinge on the Second Amendment right to bear arms. Ghost guns are handmade or self-assembled firearms that do not have serial numbers that anyone can fabricate. Biden has issued a proposed rule to stop the proliferation of those weapons. Under the new rule, the devices will require registration and would target stabilizing braces for pistols, which aid in the weapon's accuracy and manage recoil. After the break, we're talking sports and weather. We'll be right back.
Right here, baby. Look. Uma.
Noah. Something more than a birthday is happening here. Once you can see it, you can help. The sooner you recognize the signs of autism, the sooner you can make a lifetime of difference for your child. Start by answering a few simple questions at screenforautism.org.
As the COVID-19 vaccines become available, you might be asking yourself, should I get it? And if I do, will I be able to go about life without putting my family at risk? You've got questions, and that's normal. The fact is, the vaccines are safe and effective. They're going to save lives. To get the latest on the COVID-19 vaccines, visit getvaccineanswers.org, because getting back to the moments we miss starts with getting informed. It's up to you.
Let's talk sports. Nick with the latest on this week's football, baseball, and basketball season.
In national sports, Houston Texans quarterback Deshaun Watson is now facing 22 sexual assault and harassment lawsuits. The number has been rising since early March, but this past Wednesday, Ashley Soyles came forward to make her claims public. Soyles stated, quote, "I come forward now so that Deshaun Watson does not assault another woman. I'm seeking justice not on behalf of myself, but for all other survivors," end quote. Watson was a key piece of potential trade packages before these lawsuits came in. The 76ers defeated the Boston Celtics on Tuesday 106-96. Joel Embiid led the way with 35 points and 6 rebounds as he looks to get back into the MVP race after missing the past couple of weeks with injuries. The Phillies took the series against the New York Mets yesterday after an 8-2 beatdown. J.D. Realmuto and Alec Boehm had 3-run home runs that pushed the Phillies to a 5-1 record and an easy first place in the division. In case you happened to miss this past Monday, the Baylor Bears defeated the Gonzaga Bulldogs 86-70. The Bulldogs came in undefeated from the regular season, and cruising through the March Madness bracket, they finally met their match in the championship. The Bears dominated on almost all areas of the court while also jumping out to a 20-4 lead to start the game. This is the Bears' first national championship appearance and first victory. That's all for the national sports news. Now back to the desk.
Pushpika De Silva, the new Mrs. Sri Lanka, claims she was injured when her crown was forcefully removed from her head. On April 4th, De Silva received the honor at the pageant in Colombia, but the movement was quickly taken away from her when Mrs. World Caroline Drury took the crown from her head, claiming the runner-up should have the title. Police have arrested 33-year-old Gregory Jacques, the man who punched a 7-Eleven worker last weekend in Midtown Manhattan. Surveillance video shows the suspect scream anti-Asian slurs at the 26-year-old worker, then punching him in the face multiple times. Jacques has been charged with attempted assault, reckless endangerment, and assault. Don't go anywhere, because Amanda has this week's forecast. We'll be right back.
It takes less than 1 minute to find out if you may have prediabetes. You can do it here. But I get it, you're busy, and busy people can't have prediabetes. I read that wrong. They can, okay? Just go to the site.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape.
It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Spending time outdoors has never felt more valuable. Whether it's exploring nature or relaxing in your yard, let's do it responsibly. Before going out, check for closures and fire restrictions. Practice social distancing, even when outside and on the trail. Back at home, if burning yard debris, keep your pile small. And no matter where you are, be sure to properly extinguish any outdoor fire. Drown, stir, drown, feel. We're all in this together. Help keep our safe places safe.
Now let's take a look at this weekend's forecast. Amanda with the weather.
Let's take a look at the weather here in Glassboro, New Jersey. So for tonight, it's going to be partly cloudy, temperature around 45. Now let's take a look at the next 5-day forecast. So for Friday, the high is 63, low is 50, partly cloudy, some sun. Saturday, high of 70, low of 58, a chance of rain. Sunday, high of 77 and low of 53, some chance of rain again. A little bit of a rainy weekend we have coming up. Monday, the high is 69, low is 48, partly cloudy. And for Tuesday, the high is 69 and low is 49, partly cloudy again. It's nice the spring weather's here and the temperature's warming up. Let's take a look at the weather window.
Hello! We have some rainy weather coming up this weekend, but besides that, it's supposed to be sunny like early next week, which is good.
Yes, I can't wait for the warm weather. Do you have anything planned?
I like to take my dog to the lake a lot when it's nice out, just like in the afternoon or something. Obviously this weekend I probably can't do that. I'm gonna stay and probably watch movies or something, but it's gonna be warm, almost like 80 on Sunday.
I know. That's beach
probably
weather.
humid though, so my hair is gonna frizz. But besides that, yeah, it's gonna be warm, not cold anymore. I'm done with this winter weather.
Yes, me too.
Totally over it. It's been too cold for too long. I like how it's getting warmer. I like spring.
I'll probably head to the beach.
Yeah. I love beach.
All right. Well, thank you, Amanda.
It's such an awkward, you know what I mean? It's good now. All right.
Bye. Oh. That does it for today's episode of the National Rundown. I'm Sade James. Have a good night.